everyone, welcome in your English Kaksha again. In this video, we are going to start the second chapter of Snapshot book, that is the address. This story is written by Marga Mingo. Actually, this story is about human predicament that follows war and tells us the situations of pre-war and post-war. And it will also tell us about the hardships that the narrator underwent. So let's see what actually the address belonging to, what is the significance of the name of the story, the address, why it is given, and what was the relation of this address with the narrator. See, first we will read this beginning that is given with the introductory box. What is given here? Let's read. This story is a poignant account of a daughter who goes in search of her mother's belongings after the war. Here it is clearly given after the war in Holland, and this story is set in Holland. This is a very short story in which a girl or daughter goes in search of her mother's belongings. Belongings means the possessions that were of her mother, the things that were related to her mother after the war in Holland. She went to Holland to search about the things that were belonging to her mother. When she finds them, the objects evoke. Evoke means recall the memories of her earlier life. Earlier means before pre-war. That is called earlier life, and that was related to her mother also when she was living with her mother. However, she decides to leave them all behind and resolves to move on. But after finding them, she decides to leave all the things behind and decides to move on. What were the things? Why that were belonging to her mother? Where were the things? Why this address is given in the story? Now we will see in the story. Let's start. Do you still know me? I asked. Here I refers to the narrator. The narrator asked. To whom she asked? We will see in the next line. What she asked? Do you still know me? क्या तुम मुझे अभी भी जानती हो? The woman looked at me searchingly. She had opened the door a chink. A chink means very little. I came closer and stood on the step. When the narrator asked the woman, who was looking at me searchingly, and opened the door, a very little door, and she was looking at me, then the narrator came closer and stood on the step. She asked her, do you still know me? It means if she knew her. No, I don't know you. Then the woman replied, no, she didn't. I am Mrs. Slaughter's daughter. She said she is the daughter of Mrs. S. S means Slaughter. She held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. Here she refers to the woman to whom the narrator was talking. The woman held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. उसने डोर को ऐसे पकड़ के रखा जैसे वो चाहती नहीं थी कि उसको खोले. Her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition, and she was pretending that she did not know her. She kept staring at me in silence. She was just looking at me, but without speaking a word. Perhaps I was mistaken, I thought. Here the narrator thought that she had reached at a wrong address. Perhaps it is not her. Maybe that was not the woman to whom she was finding. I had seen her only once, fleetingly. Fleetingly means moving very quickly, and that was years ago. Here the narrator is saying that when she saw that woman, she was moving very quickly, and that was years ago. बहुत साल पहले की बात है. It was most probable that I had rung the wrong bell, and the narrator was thinking might she had rung the wrong bell. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. She was wearing my mother's green knitted cardigan. The wooden buttons were rather pale from washing. She saw that I was looking at the cardigan and half hid herself again behind the door, but I knew now that I was right. But as the narrator identified the cardigan that the woman was wearing and the wooden buttons that were faded because of the washing, she recognized that this was or that was the cardigan of her mother. The woman also noticed that she was identifying the cardigan, and then the narrator was confirmed that she was at the right address. Well, you knew my mother, I asked. Then the narrator gave the reference of her mother. Have you come back? Said the woman. Then the woman asked her, have you come back means had she come back? If she had come back, I thought that no one had come back, only me. But then the narrator said, no, it was only she who had come back. See what is given on the next page. A door opened and closed in the passage behind her. A musty smell emerged. As the door opened and the passage where the door was opened, from there a musty smell was coming. I regret I cannot do anything for you. But the woman said, I regret means she regret that she could do nothing for her. I have come here specially on the train. I wanted to talk to you for a moment. Here the narrator said that she had come there specially on the train and she wanted to talk to her for a moment only. It is not convenient for me now, said the woman. I can't see you another time. She said it was not a convenient time for her as she was going outside. That's why she said another time she could talk to her. She nodded and cautiously closed the door as though no one inside the house should be disturbed. And she closed the door while nodding her head, and very carefully she closed the door as she won't disturb anyone in the house. I stood where I was on the step. The curtain in front of the bay window moved. Even though the curtain where the window was open, she moved the curtain over there. Someone stared at me and would then have asked what I wanted. Oh, nothing. The woman would have said it was nothing. जैसे ही किसी ने पूछा कि मैं कौन हूँ, मैं क्या चाहती हूँ, उस लेडी ने कहा कि कोई नहीं, वो कुछ नहीं चाहती. I looked at the name plate again. Then I was puzzled. Here the narrator is saying that she was puzzled, and then that's why she looked at the nameplate again. Dorling, it said, in black letters on white enamel. White enamel color was used to write the name on the nameplate, and that the name was written there, Dorling, Mrs. Dorling. And on the jam, a bit higher, the number 46. And the name of the lady and the house number was also written over there, that was number 46. As I walked slowly back to the station, I thought about my mother who had given me the address years ago. जैसे ही मैं स्टेशन की तरफ जाने लगी, मैंने उस एड्रेस के बारे में सोचा जो मुझे मेरी मदर ने बहुत सालों पहले दिया था. It had been in the half of the war, and first half of the war means it was the situation of pre-war. I was home for a few days and it struck me immediately that something or other about the rooms had changed. Here the narrator is saying, जैसे ही वो कुछ दिन पहले वॉर से कुछ दिन पहले जब अपने घर गई, उसने देखा कि रूम्स में कुछ चेंजेस हो रहे थे. I missed various things. She noticed that some things were missed from the rooms. My mother was surprised I should have noticed so quickly. Even though her mother was very surprised that she had noticed each and everything very quickly. Then she told me about Mrs. Dorling. तब उन्होंने मुझे Mrs. Dorling के बारे में बताया. I had never heard of her, but apparently she was an old acquaintance of my mother. और मैंने उनके बारे में कभी नहीं सुना था, but clearly she was a familiar friend of my mother, whom she had not seen for years. She had suddenly turned up and renewed their contact. Since then, she had come regularly. और कितने सालों तक तो वो भी उनसे नहीं मिली थी. अचानक ही वो वहाँ आ धमकी और उनके साथ जान पहचान बढ़ाने लगी और फिर वो उनके घर रेगुलरली आने लगी. So this was the thing that, or the fact that her mother disclosed to the narrator. Every time she leaves here, she takes something home with her, said my mother. तब उसकी माँ ने उसे बताया कि वो जब भी यहाँ आती है कुछ छोड़ जाती हैं और उसके बदले में कुछ ले जाती हैं. She took all the table silver in one go and then the antique plates and hung there. She had trouble lugging those large vases, and I am worried she got a crick in her back from the crockery. Lugging means carrying. Here she is saying when the narrator noticed the lady who was carrying large vases and the antique plates and the silver crockery in one way and how she was carrying the things in one way only, that was making her sure that she would have a crick in her back, कि उसकी कमर में मोच आ ही गई होगी. My mother shook her head pityingly. I would never have dared ask her. She suggested it to me herself. She even insisted she wanted to save all my nice things. If we have to leave here, we shall lose everything, she says. Have you agreed with her that she should keep everything? I asked. Here the narrator is saying the mother suggested the girl or the narrator that she wanted each and every precious thing to be saved by that lady. Which lady? Mrs. Dorling. And her mother was saying, suppose the situation was very worse in the war and they have to leave their house, then only she wanted to save the precious thing that the lady was carrying at their home. And there also the narrator asked, have you agreed with her that she should keep everything, कि वो उन सब चीज़ों को बचा लेगी? As if that's necessary, my mother cried. It would simply be an insult to talk like that. But my mother said, अगर मैं उससे पूछूंगी कि वो इन सब चीज़ों की सुरक्षा कर सकती है, तो that would be an insult on her part. And think about the risk she is running. And we must think about the risk that she is carrying now. Each time she goes out of our door with a full suitcase or bag. And whenever she was coming at her home, she was carrying a full bag of the things with her every time. See you on the next page. My mother seemed to notice that I was entirely convinced. She looked at me reprovingly. Reprovingly means rebuking. She was rebuking me. After that, we spoke no more about it. जब मैंने उनसे कहा कि हमें उनसे पूछ लेना चाहिए whether she would be able to carry or to keep the things safe, तब मेरी माँ ने मुझे डांटा और कहा कि अब इसके बारे में हम कोई बात और नहीं करेंगे. Meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to the things on the way. I was walking in familiar places again for the first time since the war, but I didn't want to go further than was necessary. I didn't want to upset myself with the sight of the streets and the houses full of memories from a precious time. Here, when she was walking to the station again, she was looking here and there that were the familiar places. But she said, मैं उन सब चीज़ों को देखकर डिस्टर्ब नहीं होना चाहती थी. In the train back, I saw Mrs. Dorling in front of me again, as I had the first time I met her. It was the morning after the day my mother had told me about her. I had got up late and coming downstairs, I saw my mother about to see someone out, a woman with the broad back. और फिर उसे ट्रेन में दोबारा से मिसेस डॉर्लिंग दिखती हैं तो उसे याद आ जाता है कि जब वो पहली बार उससे मिली थी, कब मिली थी? आई हैड गॉट अप लेट, उस दिन जब वो सुबह लेट उठी और वो डाउनस्टेयर्स मतलब नीचे आ रही थी, तो उसकी माँ ने उन्हें बताया, नरेटर को बताया उस लेडी के बारे में जिसकी ब्रॉड बैक थी, जिसकी कमर बहुत चौड़ी थी. देयर इज़ माई डॉटर, सेड माई मदर. शी बेकन टू मी. बेकन टू मी मीन्स शी टर्न्ड to me and looked at me. The woman nodded and picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. And at that moment, when the narrator saw her first time, she was wearing a brown coat and a shapeless hat. Does she live far away? I asked. Here the narrator was recollecting the memories when she asked her mother whether the lady was living far away, while looking at the difficulty she had going out of the house with the heavy case, the things that she was carrying in the case. In Marconi Street, said my mother, number 46, remember that. And at that moment my mother told me the address. That's why this chapter name is address, and this is the address, Marconi Street, number 46. And the whole story is moving around this address only. I had remembered it, but I had waited for a long time to go there, initially after the liberation. Liberation means after freedom. As in the beginning we are told that there was a war in Holland. और जब उन्हें freedom मिली, after the freedom she waited a long time to go there, and when she went, I was absolutely not interested in all that sorted stuff. Stuff means the things. And naturally I was also rather afraid of it, afraid of being confronted with the things that had belonged to a connection that no longer existed, which were hidden away in cupboards and boxes and waiting in vain until they were put back in their place again, which had endured all those years because they were things. And even though जब वो वहाँ जाती है तब भी उसे डर लग रहा होता है उन चीज़ों से, क्योंकि वो अब उसकी नहीं रही. And they were kept safe in the cupboards and boxes also. But gradually everything became more normal again. Bread was getting to be lighter color, and there was a bed you could sleep in unthreatened, a room with a view you were more used to glancing at each day. And one day I noticed I was curious about the possessions that must still be at that address. I wanted to see them, touch, remember. Here she was saying that जब वो पोस्ट वार के बाद की बात कर रही है, जब सब कुछ ठीक हो गया और उसके पास एक रूम था रहने के लिए, खाने के लिए खाना था और सोने के लिए एक बेड भी था, तो उसे लगा कि उस शायद उन चीज़ों को देख लेना चाहिए जो उसकी माँ से रिलेटेड थी. इट मीन्स द पोजेशंस दैट वर रिलेटेड टू हर मदर. ओनली वंस शी वांटेड टू सी देम, touch them and remember them. After my first visit in vain to Mrs. Darling house, I decided to try a second time. पहली बार तो उसने उसे पहचाना ही नहीं. Second time जब उसने सोचा जाने के लिए, तो then now a girl about 15 opened the door. At that time a girl of 15 years opened the door to me and I asked her if her mother was at home. तब उसने उससे पूछा कि क्या उसकी माँ घर पर है. No, she said, my mother is doing an errand. Errand means an important task. No matter, I said I will wait for her. Then I said, okay, I will wait for your mother. And then I followed the girl along the passage. An old-fashioned iron hinka candle holder hung next to a mirror. We never used it because it was much more cumbersome than a single candlestick. Here Hanukkah means a feast of lights or a Hebrew festival in December. Here it is given at the bottom. The feast of lights, a Hebrew festival in December, where the candles were, जैसे हम दिवाली पे candles जलाते हैं, in the same way that was a stand on which many candles can be hung. But the narrator is saying we never used it because it was much more cumbersome than a single candlestick. लेकिन उन्होंने उसे कभी यूज़ नहीं किया क्योंकि उसके ऊपर एक से ज़्यादा candles लगनी थी. Won't you sit down? Asked the girl. She held open the door of the living room and I went inside past her. I stopped horrified. I was in a room I knew and I didn't know. I found myself in the midst of the things I did want to see again, but which tasteless was everything was arranged. Because of the ugly furniture of the muggy smell that hung there, I don't know, because I scarcely dared to look around me. The girl moved a chair. I sat down and stared at the woolen tablecloth. I rubbed it. My finger grew warm from rubbing. I followed the lines of the pattern. Somewhere on the edge there should be a burn mark that had never been repaired. My mother will be back soon, said the girl. I have already made tea for you. Will you have a cup of tea? Thank you. Here, when the girl asked the narrator to sit in the room where she followed behind the girl, she was looking at the things that was arranged in a very tasteless manner. Means सब कुछ ऐसे ही इधर उधर रखा हुआ था तो उसे लगा it was very tasteless and a muggy smell was also there. And she was not interested to see the things how they were arranged. She just wanted to see them only once because she was having the possession of the things that were of her mother. Then the girl said her mother will be back soon and she have already made the tea for the narrator. Thank you, the narrator said. Thanks for the tea. I looked up. The girl put cups ready on the tea table. She had a broad back, just like her mother. She poured tea from a white pot. All it had was a gold border on the lid. I remembered. She opened a box. I heard my own voice. It was a strange voice, as though each sound was different in this room. What is given here? Actually, when the girl was putting the tea in the cup, she looked at the teapot from which she was pouring the tea, and it was having a golden lid. It was also belonging to them, and while looking at the teapot, she was thinking about the things. And she commented, "That is a nice box." "Oh, you know about them?" She had turned round and brought me my tea. She laughed. "My mother says it's antique." We have got a lots more. She pointed round the room. See for yourself. Then she said, you are having very unique pieces. Then the girl said, yes. उसकी माँ ने उसे बताया था कि उनके पास और भी एंटीक चीज़ें हैं. तो वो कहती है कि तुम देख सकती हो रूम में बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं that are antique. I had no need to follow her hand. I knew which things she meant. Narrator said कि मुझे उसके हाथ को देखने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी because I was knowing that the things she was talking about. I just looked at still life over the tea table. As a child, I had always fancied. Fancied means attracted. The apple on the pewter plate. Here she is saying, I looked at the pewter plate on which the apple was there, always on their table, and the narrator felt very attractive or attracted towards that apple. हमेशा वो उस pewter plate की तरफ अट्रैक्ट रहती थी जिसमें उनके घर में वो एप्पल पड़ा रहता था. We use it for everything, she said. Once we even ate off plates hanging over there on the wall. I wanted to so much. But it wasn't anything special. I had found the burn mark on the tablecloth. The girl looked questioningly at me. Yes, I said, you get so used to touching all these lovely things in the house, you hardly look at them anymore. Here, when the girl was looking at the narrator, she found that the girl was looking at her questioningly, means why she was touching the tablecloth in a very continuous way. But here the narrator was trying to find that burn mark that she noticed at her young age. Again she said, you have already used the things in your house but you are hardly looking at them how they are. Now see the next line. She said, you had only noticed when something is missing because it has to be repaired or because you have lent it. For example, here वो गर्ल को ये कहती है कि आप अपने घर में उन चीज़ों को मिस करते हो या तो जो मिस हो गई हैं या जिनको रिपेयर के लिए भेजा गया है या फिर आपने जो किसी से ली है या दी है. Again, I heard the unnatural sound of my voice and I went on. I remember my mother once asked me if I would help her polish the silver. Here silver is related to the cutlery or the crockery that was used in their house like forks and knives. It was a very long time ago and I was probably bored that day or perhaps I had to stay at home because I was ill. As she had never asked me before, I asked her which silver she meant and she replied surprised that it was the spoons, forks and knives of course. And that was the strange thing, I didn't know the cutlery we ate of every day was silver. Here she was recollecting again the memories of her mother when one day she came back at her home and her mother asked her for polishing the cutlery that they were using at their home and it was of silver. But on that day only she came to know that the cutlery was of silver. The girl laughed again. I bet you don't know. It is either. I looked intently at her. What we eat with? She asked. Well, do you know? She hesitated. She walked to the sideboard and wanted to open a drawer. I will look. It is in here. Here the narrator asked the girl whether that girl was knowing the fact that whichever cutlery they were using at their home was of silver color. At that point, when the girl tried to open the drawer in which the silver cutlery was kept, she was opening the drawer, but here I jump up. I means the narrator jumped up. I was forgetting the time. I must catch my train. Here the narrator noticed that it was very late and she had to catch her train. ऑलरेडी बहुत लेट हो चुका था और उसको अपनी ट्रेन पकड़नी थी. शी हैड हर हैंड ऑन द ड्रॉर. डोंट यू वॉन्ट टू वेट फॉर माई मदर? द गर्ल सेड इफ द नरेटर वॉज नॉट नाउ ready to wait for her mother. No, I must go. I walked to the door. The girl pulled the door open and I can find my own way. The girl pulled the drawer. Pulled the drawer means जैसे वो खोलने लगी तो जो नरेटर थी वो खड़े होकर वहाँ से चली गई. As I walked down the passage, I heard the jiggling of the spoons and forks. Here the narrator is saying जैसे ही वो नीचे उतर रही थी उसने उन स्पून्स की और फोक्स की आवाज़ सुनी जिसको हिलाकर देखा जा रहा था. At the corner of the road, I looked up at the nameplate again. Marconi Street, it said. It had been at number 46. The address was correct. But now I didn't want to remember it anymore. Here she is saying she was at the correct address which was given years ago by her mother. She was there only, but now she didn't want to remember that address anymore. I wouldn't go back there because the objects that are linked in your memory with the familiar life of former times instantly lose their value when served from them. You see them again in strange surroundings, and what should I have done with them in a small rented room where the shreds of black out paper still hung along the windows and no more than a handful of cutlery fitted in the narrow table drawer. But again, when she was going to the railway station, she was thinking कि मैं उन सब चीज़ों का क्या करूँगी, वो भी वहाँ जहाँ पर मैं एक छोटे से रूम में रेंट पर रहती हूँ, और ब्लैक पेपर के जो श्रेड्स हैं वो विंडो पर लगे हुए हैं, और छोटी सी कटलरी ही उस टेबल ड्रॉर में आ सकती है. तो व्हाट शी कुड डू विद दैट थिंग्स, or with the things that she was having the memory of her mother now. I resolved to forget the address. That's why here the narrator is saying she decided to forget the address. Of all the things I had to forget, that would be the easiest. And at last she decided that the easiest way was only to forget about the things that was having the possession with her mother. That's why she decided to forget that address. Okay, so this is from your chapter, the address. Here you can see some questions are given. Have you come back? Said the woman. I thought that no one had come back. These things are given when we are reading the text. We have already discussed these things, and I told you this story is divided into pre-war and post-war times and the hardships that the girl underwent during these times. And why did the narrator want to forget the address? Or the address is a story of human predicament. These all things are mentioned in the story only. I hope each and everything of this chapter is clear to you. Thank you and have a nice day.